Yo, what's up guys? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Time to go over the monthly haul. This is for January 2023. This is where I just show you guys the CDs, concert DVDs, some vinyl that came through to the mailbox this month. I don't think I got anything from the store. Everything just delivered to the door. Look at that. Alright, if you guys can like or subscribe, that'd be awesome. We do a lot of bootleg talk, concert reviews. You guys know what's up. All right, man. Let's start out. I like to start out with the bullshit first. $2 CDs. I'm kind of tapering that kind of action off. Kind of losing interest in doing that, honestly. But every now and then, I have nothing to do and spend a little time on eBay, thrift shopping. But hey, if I want it and it's cheap, why the hell not? And we'll work our way up to some basically I've been gearing and trying to steer myself towards forgetting the bulk items, getting some glaring holes in the collection. So you'll see what I'm talking about coming up there. A couple cool vinyls, really cool vinyls, and some great concert DVDs. So let's start out. Got 8 things for $2 each off of eBay. From Elvis in Memphis. This is when finally the movie bullshit is over and Elvis gets back to some serious songs, serious playing. No more hop, skip, and a jump, shitting around. I haven't seen one of his movies, honestly. So, you know what? I am going to comment, even though I haven't seen them. They suck. I'm just more about Elvis' serious music, and basically 68 to 72, 72, I'll say, is kind of the cutoff for. Listen, man, if you have the faintest interest in Elvis, I know I'm late to the game with these movies sometimes. This one I have no excuse for. I have HBO and it's been on there since the summer or something. I just saw the movie the other day. I thought it was really good. I knew about that Colonel being in and out of his life and I couldn't figure out really why. I kind of figured it was financial. I thought that it was a really good movie. Anyway, this is the start of him getting out of the movie action, getting back to real music. From Elvis in Memphis. Picked up Phil Collins' Face Value, his first solo album. You get 2 great songs on here, In the Air Tonight and I Missed Again. And I don't know if the rest of it's any good at all, and I don't really care. For $2, I got 2 great songs on CD. I think I used to know someone that had this album, back in the day. Didn't really love the rest of it, but, 30 years later, I'll give it another try. Lennon and Ono, Double Fantasy, his final album, 1980. I like this album. I won't say I like her stuff, but it doesn't bother me. Kind of futuristic a little bit at the time, maybe a little weird. But I don't know, I kind of like The Cure and things like that, so her music doesn't bother me on that album. Some of it's not that great. Some of it doesn't bother me at all, and his stuff on there is pretty good. Petty, Southern Accents, 1985 album. This one gets overlooked quite a bit. Did have Don't Come Around Here No More as the hit. And Rebels got some play. But I kind of like, I borrowed this off somebody felt like I had it for a while back in the early 90s. Drove around with it for a while. Spike's kind of cool. Mary's got a brand new car, Mary's new car. It's cool. Song Southern Accents is okay. For $2, man, I can't wait to hear this thing again for the first time in a long time. Not your run-of-the-mill Petty there. James Taylor, this album's JT. I think this is 77. If you have his greatest hits, it only goes up to the album before this. So here's your next step for him. You get your Smiling Face. What else is on here? Bartender's Blues. So kind of looking forward to hearing this album. I never heard it before. Carly Simon, this song coming around again. I just always liked that song, I have to admit. It was like at my second job, it was playing every hour over my head, and you kind of had no choice but to get into it a little bit. And my wife likes a movie where they play the damn song the whole time. It's freaking annoying. But the song's cool, and for $2, check out the rest of the album. A full Neil Diamond album. I know I just got that box set last month. But, for $2, I love picking up just a regular studio album. Love the old school MCA, cheesy original CDs. I know. I just like that stuff because it's old. And last, for the cheap stuff, I've had this thing This was one of my first, say, 15 or 20 CDs I had back in the 80s. You know, everyone had, well, not everyone, but there was 20-some volumes of these classics. Now there was one by Styx and Frampton, I think. I don't think I ever had anyone else's except for Mangioni's, but I was able to pick up his Feel So Good album. I think it's 76, 77, one or the other. So the whole regular album, there's only the one title track on the classics thing. So now I get to check out what a whole regular album is. Every now and then, Mangione, chuck it on when you're on the beach, you know, 7:30, 8 o'clock. Most people left, it's still you. There's just a time and a place for it, man. For me, anyway. All right, like I said, fill in some glaring holes. How do I not have these things in my collection? I had this brand new when it came out in '83 on cassette. Told you a bunch of times, I ditched all my cassettes 5 years ago because I really just never went to put them on. I know. I'm going to take all the hits you guys can dish out, and I'm not going to say a damn word. How do I not have this? That's all I'm going to say. How do I not have this? Now I do. Loved listening to that for the first time in a long time the other day. And just listen to this today. I don't think I've ever owned this one, to be honest with you. Someone taped it for me back in the day. So I had it for a couple years. Blank tape that's way the hell long gone. Greatness there. Trying to sort out the best versions to get online, and I think someone was saying original UKs, so that's what these are. Spent a couple extra bucks to get those. They weren't much more than buying your whatever other versions are out there. So I like to try to do that if I'm buying something classic like that. It's the one thing about, you know, when you have 4 or 5 other versions out 30 years later like this or what have you, 40. You get to pick and choose, you know. I'm not someone that's got all those versions. So original UKs is what I basically was told. Now someone else said, what is it? Best of the Beast has some remaster action. Of course, it's only a couple songs from each album. So anyway, this is something I have on vinyl that I got back in the 90s when vinyl was, people were trying to throw it out. I think I paid $1 for this on vinyl, and it's in pretty good shape. It's a promotional copy, but all good. Sounds great, no skips. So I wanted it on CD because I love this album. If you're not familiar with it, it's Traffic's last album. Well, before the '94 thing. It's 1974, When the Eagle Flies. This is great. A little kind of melancholy, a little laid back, a little kind of creepy. You know, not bouncy and happy. It's not glad. It's not folky like John Barleycorn. It's just cool. I just love this album. If you have this album, you know what's up. And if you don't, and if you like Low Spark or High Heeled Boys, haven't heard this one, you got that same full band on here. Is Rebop on here? He might not be. But the sound's very similar to the Low Spark or High Heeled Boys session. That was great, and not the cheapest one to find. I got this off of eBay, like Music Magpie. I usually don't buy off of those benefits charity sites off of eBay. Those people, the service kind of stinks. You don't know what you're getting. Music Magpie in the UK, I've used 2 or 3 times, and I mean, look at this thing. I haven't put a new case on it or nothing. This is how I got it. It's awesome. Traffic. This. Back to Elvis one last time. I really wanted to get me an expanded edition of That's the Way It Is, his 1970 album. His best album by far. There's like an 8 CD box set out there. It's going for hundreds and hundreds. Come on. Even I'm not that crazy. But this is a nice 3 CD special edition. The album remastered. I think there's 6 bonus tracks. Then you get a concert from that year in Vegas in 70. And a rehearsal from 70. Good stuff, you know, used, great condition, 20 bucks or so. Super happy with that one. And what do you know, a Fat Boy case that's not cracked. That's a small miracle right there. All right, last but not least with the main CDs. I think I owned this on vinyl back in the day. Or cassette, I can't remember. Time to Recoup Some Demon. I used to have... What was the first? I used to have Night of the Demon on vinyl for sure. Don't have that anymore. Starting back up with my Demon though, starting with The Plague, which was the first one I got back in the day. This one has a bunch of bonus tracks. I think it's like a 2019 reissue of it. Haven't heard it yet. It's still sealed. Can't wait to delve back into that. From what I remember of this, it wasn't great, but there's two great songs, the title track and Nowhere to Run, man. Anyway, UK rock there, rock metal, they were always somewhere in between. One last CD, but this is a CD-DVD combo, Neil Young, Prairie Wind. Someone burned this for me when it came out. I don't think I listened to it more than once, so it's a used version for $3. Not in great shape, but let me check it out, see what's up. Something to watch and listen to. All right, on to some... all right, let's go with the DVDs. This one I used to have on VHS, flipped it over to a DVD-R. Allman Brothers, Brothers of the Road. You get a 79 concert. You get an 81 concert. I didn't have any of those albums from that era back when I last watched this. So I'm really looking forward to checking this out because it's got about 4 songs from the late 70s into the early 80s reunion that, of course, ended in 82. So legit copy. I don't know, I paid $8 or $10 for it. Yes, can toss my transfer, VHS to DVD-R transfer. You know me and my DVD-Rs. Not happening if at all possible. Real thing. So here's a great one. Soundstage performances, The Doors. My favorite album from them is Soft Parade. Get some of that action from PBS on here. But I think it's actually a mixed bag of stuff. I don't think it's just one show. I'm trying to remember because somebody lent this to me, back in the 90s. So, been a long time. I know it's great. Here's one I've never seen before. It's got great reviews. I think it's hosted by Grace Slick and Marty Balin, maybe. Another member of Airplane kind of narrate this because they were the opening band. Doors live in Europe, 68. Looks like a cool one, 60 minutes long. Yes. Same seller was selling this guy, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and Double Trouble. Live in Montreux, 82 and 85. I've never seen this. Used to be super, really into Stevie Ray Vaughan. He was one of my favorites. I used to say he was the best guitar player in the world. He might be. But 2 CDs, or 2 DVDs. One for each show. I don't know if there's any bonus stuff on there. Yeah, a little bit. That'll be great. Never seen it, like I said. Now, the same guy who was selling the Doors, the Live in 68 anyway, he was running a buy 2, get 1 free. So I couldn't find any more music that he had that I wanted, so picked up only because it's been, again, 35 years. I haven't seen the original Poltergeist, so I just picked it up as I consider it free. So that'll be cool. I'm sure that's out on Blu-ray, but that's just the DVD. And then on Blu-ray, I did pick up, this is a classic, Young Frankenstein. Gotta love that one. They ran this in the theater about 4 years ago. Awesome. Took my wife, she never saw it before. Howlin'. Couple things of vinyl, and that'll be it for this one, guys. Here is a great EP, I guess you consider it. Steely Dan. This was something that I guess the thing just went out for like record promotion to records radio stations. It's called 4 Tracks, or 4 Tracks from Steely Dan. It's got this little +4s in the corner. I don't know if this is some kind of series they were going to try to do, but nothing else comes up when you search +4s. I'm not 100% sure. Anchor Records, they were actually on ABC Records. So this is from 76. 2 songs aside. Do It Again. But the gems on here are Dallas, that was recorded, probably first album sessions, never released. Why something like that wasn't on their box set, who the hell knows. Side 2, you get Haitian Divorce from Royal Scam, which is awesome, but on side 2, the gem there is Sail the Waterway, another one from 72, never released. That's the reason you want, if you love Steely Dan like me, this guy. Now, I already had some nice, clear downloads pulled off YouTube. I have them on, CDR. So happy with them. They sound great. They actually probably sound a little better than this album, even though the album's in mint condition. Cover's a little shaky there, but the album's pristine. For some reason, plays with like a little distortion, but I'm not really sure. I even changed my needle. Didn't make any difference. Not sure what's up with that. It's a 45 RPM. All right, last but not least, this is a band that I went to high school with. They had a demo out on tape in '84, Black Task. Then they had a 4-song EP on Damnation Records, real power metal. It got even heavier than 84. In 85, called Black Task. It was great. They were in my first version of my top 5 EPs of all time. Great 4-song EP from 85. This was their full-length album they put out in 86. Axe Records in France. Black Task, Long After Midnight. Now, you talk about, if you want to say, they changed their direction with this one, you'd have to say they changed their directions, because there's just all kinds of styles of metal on here. I mean, not glam metal, but there's stuff that sounds kind of like Dokken. There's stuff that sounds sort of a little spacey and almost like future, like synthesizer behind the guitar, almost like Alan Parsons meets metal. Just really interesting. You still got 1 or 2 quick numbers on here, like thrashy stuff. Really good album. Looking forward to putting this back on, transferring this over to a CR so I could drive around with it. Good stuff there. Happy with that copy. It had gone from $20-$30 up to $50 and $100, and I snagged one for I think $25 off of Discogs, and this thing looks better than the one I had back in the 80s, so happy there. So that's it, man. That's the monthly haul for January 2023. Like talking music, classic rock, classic metal, bootlegs specifically. That's what we love to talk about. This is just sort of showing you what's up kind of thing. Then like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And thanks to everyone that has. What's coming up next? On the 7th of February, we'll finally get to this review. Kiss Nashville, hooting and hollering it up on the Lick It Up tour. We'll see, man, on the 7th. All right, guys. Catch you all later.